Today is a super exciting day. Not just because it's Christmas, but because I got a new drum set. And I am finally saying goodbye to my absolutely loved D-drum something. I have no idea what kind of drum set it was, but I had this guy for, I think, about 12 years and got tons of mileage out of it. So I bid you farewell. So I have absolutely no idea how to set up a drum set. So this could either go really well or horribly wrong. I guess I should get all the pieces together, right? So I think these guys probably clamp around the bass drum. It would appear that these probably go in them. In case I do get lost, YouTube came in handy. Literally, YouTube is the greatest thing ever. If you need to figure out anything, just look it up on YouTube. There's a video of it. I looked up like how to set up a drum set, and the exact drum set that I got, there's a video for it. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned, the drum set I'm setting up is a Yamaha Stage Custom 5-piece shell kit. I got the shell kit because I have tons of cymbals. I have my double kick pedal right here. I have a drum seat, drum throne already. I'll clean all this shit up later. Guessing this is a tom thing. All right, so these two guys will go in here and we'll hold the rack toms. So this seems pretty straightforward, I think. What's really cool is that both rack toms are completely set up already, and so is the snare drum. So the only construction I have to do is to set up the floor tom, which is what these legs are for, and the bass drum, or kick drum, if you will. And I would be playing music in the background, but I'm not trying to get copyright stroked. Stricken. I'm gonna do the kick drum first because I feel like that is gonna take a while. Do the harder one first. All right. So I think this will have the heads. I'm probably gonna end up replacing the, well, at least the kick drum, because I use an Aquarian on my other one. But I'll put this on for now. Why not? These are blue light glasses, babe. I'm not looking at a screen right now, so I don't want to read them. And for anyone saying they're fake, I do get really bad migraines, and even if they're a placebo, and in my mind I think they help, they legitimately make me get less migraines, so. Alright. Ooh. That is cool. That is really cool. So, I said it before, but again, I got a Yamaha Stage Custom 5-piece, and the bass drum is a 22 inch. So it should have a nice deep sound. And I got it in white. And the reason I got it in white is because every picture I saw online it's of, I can't remember the name of it, but pretty much every picture that I saw online is of the same color, and like everybody got it in the same color. It's really nice. I'm not like hating on it at all, because I actually really like it, and that was my second choice. It's like a natural finish, I think. No, that's the natural wood. That was my third choice. It's like an orangish wood finish, kind of. But here's the white. It is beautiful. Very, very pretty. So, I did watch a video on this. Hair on my mouth. And what the guy in the video did, he said you get this snug. Wait a second. All right, are we ready? Fast forward time. All right. So, in a video I watched, the guy setting this up said to get this like lined up where you want it, and then it sounds like you're breaking it, but you want to do that because it has something to do with like getting tension right around the, I don't know, but that's what he did. I'm not going to question it. And then I knew a piece was missing. Gotta put the ring around it. Smart. This one goes on the other side. And you'll know that because that is where your pedal is gonna go. Probably should have checked before I unwrapped that, but that's okay. They wrap these like a mummy, which is good though. That's how right when I'm going to talk about, I was literally about to say, they wrap these so well, that's how you know they're not damaged. They just whack this into another piece. At least in theory, I would want the more rounded side out. Because these are rounded, right? I'm not screwing any of these in yet. I haven't even opened those. All right, I'm silencing this. People are texting me about fantasy football. I'm in last place in my fantasy football league. I won it last year, which was cool. It is impossible not to have dog hair on stuff when you have a dog. If you're watching this right now, pause it and go listen to The Beauty of Suffering by Spiritbox, because that's what's stuck in my head right now. Spiritbox is fucking amazing. And not just the regular version of The Beauty of Suffering. They just put out on their YouTube channel, they just put out a version, I think it was for like Sirius XM Liquid Metal. They did like a live, well, as live as you can possibly be during a pandemic. They put out like a live version doing a bunch of songs, and oh my god, they sound unreal. They are so good. So that's what I've been listening to a lot. Just a lot of Spiritbox. Okay, so for these guys, you want to finger tighten them as much as you can. Just like twist it before you use a drum key. Handy dandy drum key. That's what they look like. There you go. You do want to do that. You want to do it until it gets a little tight, but you want to do these at the same time at opposite ends because that just helps with tension, I think. I also have no idea what I'm doing. Those other drums that I have over there, I never tuned them a single time in the 12 years I had them. And I never changed the heads on the toms. I think I changed my snare drum head because I broke it once. And I would change the kick drum head a lot because I broke that a lot. But the tom heads, no. Never tuned them, never changed them. So I will definitely be taking care of this one because this drum set is gorgeous and I actually want to take care of it. So yeah, tighten these at the same time and do it until it starts to get, okay, so I'm feeling a little like tightness. That's when you stop. And then kind of do like opposite ones. By that I mean, since I did these ones, do like the perpendicular line to that. I don't know. Hopefully you know what I mean. And I'm kind of just checking them to make sure they're not like sliding too much. But that'll also get fixed once I actually like turn it with the key. And this side also doesn't really matter as much. It's just, it'll affect the tone pretty much. There's not one set way to do this with a drum key. It's all about preference. I am gonna do, because the tighter you go, kind of the higher the tone. That's usually the way it goes. And like the looser it is, like the lower and the kind of floppier the tone is gonna be. But with the, like I said, with the front one, it doesn't matter as much. So I'm just gonna do 2 turns. This thing's annoying, this like plastic thing. So I'm gonna use a different drum key. And do the same thing as before, like do the opposite screw. 1, 2. 1, 2. There we go. That is a pretty bass drum. All right, now's the fun part. No, I'm just kidding, it's the exact same. There was a kick drum head. I had heard good things about the Evans head. These are, this is a Remo UT. I mean, Remo makes really good heads, so I'm sure it's gonna sound great. I don't think you can really go wrong with them. I like for years, I've just used an Aquarian too, because that's like, everyone just says like, oh, if you play metal, just get an Aquarian. And they do sound amazing, so like, that's just all I've used. But I've heard really good things about this like Evans head. So I was thinking about getting that. So I think probably whenever I switch this one out, that's the one I'm gonna get. But for now, I'm gonna stick with this Remo one. And again, it's fast forward time. Okay, gonna do the same thing as before and give her a little push. I'm a big guy, so I don't want to put too much weight on it. kind of want to see like want to make sure it's coming from every direction, you know. And then I said this before, but you want this part to be on the bottom because that's where my kick pedal is gonna clamp down on so it doesn't move or damage the wood. That looks pretty good. I'm one of those people that's like super OCD about everything having to line up perfectly, so don't mind me. Right. I think I'm going to do the same thing as the other side and just leave it to 2 rotations, 2 turns. And then after I play it, if I don't like how it sounds, I'll probably give it another turn. But 2 should be good. And then I'm making sure that it feels even across the whole thing, you know? I know there are actual tools you can get to like test it. There's like a weight thing you can put, but I don't have time to do all that. I just want to play this thing. Bass drum is done. Woo! And this thing is gorgeous. Oh no, there's a little chip on it. I'm sending it back. I'm gonna Karen so hard. How dare they? But that's what it looks like from the other side. So I'm gonna put this guy to the side. Or girl. This should be super easy actually. Right. God, this is so... Dude, these are so pretty. I'm really glad I went with the white because I didn't see us. I mean, I'm sure obviously people have it, but like in the reviews for it, I didn't see anybody posting pictures of the white one. Big shout out to Yamaha, obviously. Just like the packing and stuff and the packaging. I mean, it's like the box is really small. Like when I got it, I was like, how do they fit everything in here? And it's like, I mean, the box is a little bigger than the bass drum. And they just put everything in there, it's like Russian nesting dolls, Matryoshka dolls. And everything's packaged like super well. I'm literally unpackaging it, like in front of whoever's watching this, and it's all packaged super well. I was also kidding about there being like a dent on it. If there is, like, it's because I probably hit it against something. Doesn't matter which side I do first. I'll just start with this one. Oh, my Buffalo accent just really came out, huh? I'll just start with this side, huh? Wait a second. That doesn't seem right. I should probably put the heads on. That would be a better start. I'm like, why doesn't this fit right? That seems odd. So a trick I did on my old drum kit, I actually took the bottom of my floor tom off, and it sounded so heavy. It had like just the deepest heaviest sound. I'm gonna leave this as is. I am gonna put the bottom on for now, and I'll take it out later if I don't. If I end up not loving how it sounds. See, there we go. And for this, I'm gonna do the exact same thing I did with the bass drum. Guy doesn't want to screw in. So I'm going to break the rules and use the drum. So since this guy was giving me trouble, I'm going to start with him. Problem is I don't know exactly where I turned it, but I'm just going to stick with the 2-turn. But there you go. So don't do exactly what I just did there. I kind of butchered that. That's all right. This is the first time I've ever set up a drum set. It's also getting really hot down here because I'm in a basement and there's a really, really big heater on the ceiling. I would turn the fan on, but that'll probably mess with the audio. All right. Let's do this again. Key time. All right. Right. The floor tom is ready to go. I think it's actually maybe a half turn on those. These guys were too high. Pew pew. I'll loosen it a little bit, I guess. What? Oh, I was tightening it. Lefty loosey, of course. This I can adjust once I'm sitting down too, because again, a lot of this stuff is personal preference. And I'm really tall, so like what works for me is not going to work for someone who is not as tall as I am. No, I'm not going to say my height because I'm not a jerk. I kind of would have one leg a little shorter. I'm putting these all pretty much the same right now. Usually when I play, I have one leg a little shorter of the three, so that when this is standing, actually that is kind of how it is. Yeah. So if one leg's a little shorter, it comes forward a little bit. So then it's like angled at me while I'm playing, you know? So it'll be like toward, like Just like the tiniest little bit, not a lot, just ever so slightly. Some people, again, that's a preference thing. Some people like playing on just like flat heads, like completely across the kit. Some people like it at an angle. I like it at a little bit of an angle. So yeah, that's super cool that that's the only setup that you need to do. And this kit is pretty much ready to go. I'll like unbag the other stuff so you guys can see it. I don't know who you guys are, but here's the first rack tom. I believe it's a 10-inch. I can look up the exact specs. I'll put them down there in the description. Am I a real YouTuber now? Because I did that. I'm pretty sure this is a 10-inch. This is a 13-inch. I could be wrong. This looks really tiny, so I think it's a 10-inch. Yeah. Nice. And again, like you don't even need to tighten them. Like they're literally ready to play right out of the bag. And same with the snare drum. I think it's a 15-inch. I should have looked it up before I started. Yeah, this is really nice. So here's the mechanism. Oh, and that's really smooth too. That's like extremely smooth. That's tuned pretty high. That's a nice snare sound too. It's not gonna sound good on this mic, but actually the GoPro mic really is not too bad. Like I've had it right up. I mount it on my drum set, like when I do my covers, and you'd be surprised at the audio it picks up. It's like not, it doesn't get muffled or anything. It's a surprisingly good mic. So what I think I'm gonna do is put the camera somewhere else and kind of do a time lapse of me setting up the drums. How does that sound? Good? Good. Got all the garbage bags. Really nice. One major problem is that the legs aren't long enough on the kick drum. That's okay. I can literally just put like some books under it or something. Other than that, Jesus, these sound awesome. So, hope everybody that's still with me enjoyed that and enjoyed the setup of these beautiful Yamaha Stage Custom drums. And look forward to many drum covers with these guys in the future.